Hello and welcome to yoga for everyday endurance athletes and normal people too. Today we are in the garage studio. As always, we are going to start in our seated position. And there is actually a little bit of heat in Wisconsin, although it is really windy. Oh, that reminds me, there's a new Star Wars movie coming out, and it's kind of goes into the life of Darth Vader. It's mostly about his wife, Ella. There's just a lot of ups and downs in her life. All right, so we're in our seated pose. You're probably like wondering, what's the story there? Why is that a joke? Just put our name together and breathe into your nose. Try to get the breath into your belly, like push your belly against the waistband of your pants or your shorts, and try to get your belly button to expand, and then just relax. And let the air out. So today's class will be a sort of traditional power yoga kind of class. We'll do sun salutations with some planks. Just keep breathing into your belly. And we'll do a warrior sequence with warrior 1, 2, reverse warrior, and side ankle. And then we will come back to pigeon, which we did last week. All right. Now that we are sort of mentally ready, let's roll onto all fours. And we'll do cows and cats just for a moment to just start working on, whoa. Greasy's here on my mat now. Lovely. All right. Inhale and drop your belly, lift up your head, stick out your butt a little bit. And then exhale into cat and arch your back and drop your head. Just like ate the microphone. That was sure disturbing. And then inhale, come into cow, drop your belly button, lift up your head. Exhale. Good. Just move with your breath. That's kind of the key thing to remember when you're doing this, is to, as you inhale, start to move. And then when you're done with your inhale, start to exhale and then move. Okay, so bring your hands to the top of the mat, curl your toes back under, and come into a downward dog. So in downward dog, the goal is to have a relatively straight line from your hips to your hands, and then from your hips to your heels. So the inhale is to come up on your tiptoes. The exhale can be dropping one heel down, opening up your calf muscle. Another one, inhale, and then exhale the other heel. And then you can do both heels. And then inhale, try to drop your collarbones a little farther. See if you can open up your shoulders. You can even move your shoulders just gently side to side. All right, let's inhale. Look to the top of the mat. Walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale into a forward fold. So you're folded over yourself. Now you're going to come all the way up into mountain pose. Bring your hands together. And then hands to heart center. And then down. All right, so from here, we are going to do our sun salutation poses. So that's going to mean come up forward fold into a half lift so that we're pretty flat to the ground, parallel to the ground, and then back into a high plank and then a low plank. So we'll start a high plank, come down into a low plank, come into a cobra or upward facing dog. Okay, so let's bring our arms up overhead. Exhale down to a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. And then here's the high plank. Bring your hands to the mat, walk your feet back, and then come down, kind of a push-up. And you can always drop your knees and then push up into a cobra pose. Curl your toes back under and exhale back to a downward dog. So we're going to do 4 of those. If at any time you want to drop your knees in the high to low plank, you can do that. If at any time you want to just push back to a downward dog, you can do that. Let's inhale, look to the top of the mat, walk your feet forward. Inhale to a half lift, your torso is parallel to the ground. Inhale to, exhale to a forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Then flip your hands around and tilt your hinge forward like you're going to do a swan dive down into a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. And while you're exhaling, you're doing the high to low plank. And then inhale into the cobra or upward facing dog, which is just bringing your knees off the mat. And then exhaling back to a downward facing dog. There's a lot of shoulder work going on. And if you have challenges with shoulder work, like in downward dog, you can always have your knees on the ground in a puppy pose. And this is where you can end up. So you can come down on your knees into a plank, cobra, and then push back to a puppy. So let's inhale, walk your feet forward. Inhale, inhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, we'll do the same thing, high to low plank. Inhale into a upward facing dog or a cobra, and then back to downward dog. A couple of deep breaths into your belly. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. And as you exhale, walk your feet forward to the forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold, all the way up. Last one of these. Inhale. Inhale, half lift. High to low plank as you exhale. And then inhale into upward facing dog or cobra and exhale back. Now we're going to inhale, bring your right foot forward, right foot and back up and back. Drop your back knee, and we're just for a moment going to warm up our hip flexors by doing a low lunge. Just have your hands on your knee. My left knee is down, my right foot is down. I'm going to inhale, my hips back, and exhale, roll my hips forward. Just to, especially if you sit, and this, it's an evening, and if you've been sitting all day, trying to keep your torso up, even creating a back bend, will get into your hip flexors, your left hip flexors, a little bit in your hamstrings on your right side. Exhale, just let the exhale come out, and then just push as far forward as you feel like you can. Don't push it excessively. Good, we'll do one more. And inhale, Bring your hands back down to the mat. Curl your left toes. Bring your right foot back into downward dog. All right, we'll inhale, lift your left foot up into the air. Step forward with your left foot and come into the little lunge. Now my left foot is on the mat. My right knee is on the mat. Hands on knees. Inhale, my hips back. Exhale, let's roll them forward. And again, you're trying to lengthen the hip flexors, the muscles that essentially start at your hip bone and go into your quads. And those are the ones that shorten when we sit. So we're just trying to wake them up. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale back, exhale forward. Just trying to create a little bit of movement here. Inhale up, exhale down. All right, inhale, bring your hands to the mat, curl your right toes underneath, bring your left foot back into a downward dog. All right, from here, we'll come into our warrior sequence. We'll start with the warrior one. So it's inhale, bring your right foot up into the air in a three-legged dog, bring it forward, drop your left heel and push up to a warrior. So you can adjust your stance. This is a little aggressive. So in all of our poses, we'll be holding them for a little. So warrior one, front knee over the front ankle. Your back leg is mostly straight. Our goal in warrior is to have our shoulders and hips pointing forward. So now, this is why we did the lunges. You'll feel this in your left hip, inside into your psoas and in the hip flexors on your left side. So inhale and open up your hips a little bit. And then exhale and rotate your shoulders forward and your hips will come with them. Your back foot is sort of flat on the mat, so it doesn't really matter what angle it's at, just so that you create that base of stability. If you can look up and open yourself up. All right, one more inhale. Good. Now, we'll inhale up, rotate your shoulders and hips into a warrior two. So I'm going to rotate over. So everything is the same. Check your front knee, because sometimes when you do that transition, your knee rolls in. So roll it back out on top of your front foot, your front ankle. Hands are coming wide. The key here is to make sure that there's equal weight on your front and back foot. So it's easy to kind of lean forward. Try to keep your torso so that it's straight up and down. So the inhale is kind of the opposite of what you were doing. It's now opening up your shoulders. And then the exhale is to reach your hands out. Stretch them out as far as you can, while maintaining your torso being upright. If this gets a little much for your shoulders, you can always keep your hands on your hips or one hand, whatever you need. So you're really trying On the exhale, start reach your hands out as far as they will go to open up your shoulders and so there's a lot of work being done by your core and your hips and your glutes. All right, good. We're going to inhale, relax, and now we're going to bring our right hand in reverse warrior, bring it up into the air. Your left hand can come onto your left thigh or wrap it around your back. So now the inhale is to lift your torso up and exhale, bring it back. It's as if you're trying to take your left shoulder, fold your body sideways so that it's touching or coming towards your left knee. And obviously that's never going to happen, but that's the direction that you're going. So that when you're leaning back on the exhale, you're feeling your whole right side open up. And just reach up, back on the exhale. Inhale up, breathe into your belly, and then just let it relax. Reverse warrior is kind of nice because here you're relaxed, you're inhaling into your belly, and then you can just focus on letting the air out as you tilt backwards. All right, let's inhale. Now we're going to come into side angle. And if you need to, you can do an extended side angle and put your elbow on your thigh, or you can bring your right hand down and my right elbow is inside of my right knee and my left hand is coming up towards the ceiling. So this is really similar to triangle. The only difference is the front knee being bent. The inhale is to drop your left shoulder. The exhale is to reach up and bring your left shoulder on top of your right as high as it'll go. The goal is also to bring your right hand to the ground, which I don't quite get to yet. It's getting there, but not quite. Inhale into your belly. Exhale, come down. This is all about core strength. And my front glute and thigh are screaming a little bit too. Let's do one more. Good. We're going to inhale here, up. Cartwheel your hands back down to the mat. Bring your right foot back into a downward dog. And this is where downward dog becomes the rest pose. Breathe into your belly. Come up on your hips. Exhale, come down. Good. Let's inhale your left leg up into three-legged dog. And exhale it forward. I think I just misspoke, but hopefully you got it. In, drop your right heel, and we'll come into warrior one on this side. All right. So in warrior one, your arms are up. Inhale, open. Exhale, rotate forward. Almost creating, not almost, you're trying to create a back bend. Inhale into your belly. And as you let the air out through your nose, just rotate forward. Try to keep your back leg straight. You can feel it in the front of your right hip, in your psoas muscle. It's such good work, both for strengthening and mobility. Because you're creating isometric strength or stress by holding the pose, but with moving, you're also working on some of the mobility pieces. Good. Now, inhale and rotate hips and shoulders, hands forward and back into warrior two. Look at that. Nice. Good. So Front knee, adjust it if you need to be back over your heel. Get the weight on your back foot. There you go. You can feel more work being done maybe by your right butt cheek, your right glute in this case. So remember, the inhale is to kind of relax your shoulders. The exhale is to spread your hands out as far as you can go. You can always adjust your stance if it's too much. A good sign that you know that's too much if you can't breathe into your belly or breathe through your nose, then you know that you're just going too hard and you can back off a little bit. All right, now inhale, come into reverse warrior. So drop your right hand, lift your left hand up. So you're trying to keep your torso in the same plane. So you're just moving your torso side to side. So the inhale is to come back up. The exhale is to roll back. This one seems like it's harder, even though I just said earlier that it seems easier to work with your breath. But maybe I'm just getting tired, or this side is just more challenging. Breathe into your belly, and then exhale and lean yourself back. That's it. All right, one more inhale, one more exhale, and then we'll inhale, and now we'll come into oh, excuse me, side angle on this side. So my left elbow is coming inside my left knee. My right hand is coming up into the air. The inhale is to drop my elbow a little bit on my shoulder, and the exhale is to try to reach up to the ceiling and maybe drop my left hand too. So the whole point is to create a twist in your torso with your feet being the base. Good. A couple more breaths. Really focus on trying to twist as much as you can. Good. All right. Well, inhale, cartwheel your hands back down to the mat. Bring your left foot back into a downward dog. Just find your breathing back into your belly. So we'll come into a pigeon pose, and we're going to do a standing pigeon as opposed to the sleeping pigeon. And the upright, well, our upright pigeon is simply working a little bit more of your hip flexor, which has been kind of our focus tonight. So let's inhale your right foot up. Exhale, bring your knee forward, drop your right knee, flip your right foot around so that the heel is in front of your left thigh, and drop your left knee. And scooch it back, scooch your left knee back as far as you feel like you're comfortable doing. Your hands are on the mat. And this is how we're gonna be working. So this is upright as opposed to the sleeping, which is down here. So you will likely feel this more in your left hip flexors, the front of your left thigh. So just like we did last week, the inhale is to, what am I doing here? Drop your right butt cheek closer to the mat. And then the exhale is to roll your hips forward a little bit. You can always adjust your hand. Inhale. So this is the relaxing. The exhale is rotating in to the stretch, to the lengthening. Inhale into your belly. Exhale, rotate. Nice. Keep it going. Just gently moving. One more breath. And inhale, curl your left toe under. Bring your hands to a position up in the front of the mat. Bring your right foot back into downward dog again. Inhale and push a heel down. All right, good. Inhale, bring your left foot up into the air. Bring your left knee forward. Rotate your left foot so that the heel is in front of your right thigh. And then bring your hands back and scoot your right knee back. Good. Perfect on time. All right, so same process. Just inhale, left butt cheek down, exhale, rotate forward. I think we're doing the breathing backward than what we did last time. We're trying to get at more of our hip flexors as opposed to, it's kind of like whatever you want to focus on, that's where the exhale is. Inhale, just like a little hip rotation. So it's not even really, it's side to side, but it's more of at an angle. Inhale, push back. So you're getting a little bit of work in your hip joint on the left side and the glute, which is purposeful. Good. And exhale forward. One more. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And then just roll to the side. Let your left butt cheek come to the mat. Wrap your right leg around so you come into a seated position. And we'll come into a butterfly pose, a seated butterfly. And this is how we'll finish. So soles of your feet are together. Inhale your torso long. Reach forward with your right hand, with your hands. And just fall forward. Inhale up. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale up. Let's do a couple more. You'll feel this in your inner thighs. And as you exhale and lean forward, think about your knees just falling by gravity. All right, good. All right, come into our easy pose. In a seated position. Hands to your side. We'll inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Bring your hands together as you exhale down to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. We do this kind of symbolically as you inhale up to scoop up some of the good energy that we have created as you practice. And then the idea is that you bring that energy into yourself so that you can share it with others. All right. And I appreciate your presence today in class. Namaste. Thanks for joining us. Check out the other yoga offerings on simpleendurancecoaching.com/yoga. Also check out our coaching and strength training programs and packages and information. And if you want to talk about what you're doing and your training, you don't know how to fit it all together, set up a virtual coffee and we'll talk and kind of get some ideas about how you can move forward with or without my help. All right, thanks for joining us. Take care of yourself.